Hello, this is Richard Wilson, CEO of the Family Office Club, and I just wanted to come to you today from Mumbai, India here while I'm speaking at a couple family office conferences and talk to you about setting up your investment fund and capital raising process for success. We had a lot of people at our Capital Con event a few weeks ago in Times Square, and one thing that came out during some live, on-stage coaching sessions was just that a lot of people set themselves up for failure. If you look at the Wright brothers and how they got an airplane, to fly, they started with a glider essentially. They got a glider to glide and got the aerodynamics right, and then they figured out how to put a small engine, a larger engine, and then start actually flying, multiple people in an airplane. And what I see is that a lot of investment fund managers have an innovative idea or approach or team, yet they're worried about having 50 passengers on their jet or their airplane before it's even gliding. And I think a lot of people just shoot themselves in the foot because there's so many things that can go wrong in capital raising, and when you set it up wrong, you set up the game wrong, you're almost guaranteeing your failure. If you have a $250,000 or $500,000 minimum and you're going after high net worth investors, it's going to be very challenging if you haven't raised capital before consistently. If you're going to have expensive fees, 2 and 20, or industry standard fees, it's going to be hard to attract investors potentially if they're informed on what other funds charge that have a big track record behind them, a big team, a long history of performing great as an investment. Also, I see that a lot of people have a size of fund which hurts them. For example, they'll have a fund size of $50 million for their first fund, and I'll ask them why, and they said, well, the attorney said I should do that, or my competitor said I wouldn't be taken seriously unless I'd done a $50 million fund. And what I found is that it's always better to be oversubscribed and then move on to the next fund rather than never make it to your initial goal. Far more funds never make it to their first goal and crash and burn or never get off the ground. They just really burn and go under. And I find that it's much healthier to have a, let's say, $3 million or $7 million raise. Get it oversubscribed and be at 10 million. Say, oh, we tried to raise 7, we rose 10 on accident, and then the next time you raise capital, you'll be able to say, we were oversubscribed last time, so our hard close for this raise is going to be February 1st. So you have to commit by then if you went in on this round. And that is way more credibility and social proof and confidence and conviction, and just assures your investors that they're with the right group and that you're going to get this raise done, rather than saying, we're going for 50 million. Yeah, sorry, it's taken us 2.5 years to raise this amount. We still think the market's good. And now you don't even know those people that you thought you had hard circled before are actually going to come in towards that 50 million. So it's better to go for 1 million, get it closed, then go for 5, and then go for 12, and then go for 20, and just oversubscribe. And if you have to be constantly capital raising, then so be it. That's better than raising 50 million over 3 years. So to go over real quick, the 3 things that you have to really worry about not getting wrong, getting right, is the structure of the fund in terms of fees. Are you going to be low fees or moderate or high? I would say be greedy long-term, build up credibility, get 5 to 7 wins under your belt, and just live as leanly as possible so you can be greedy long-term and not try to rake people on fees or try to charge standard fees up front. I think that's the worst decision ever. If you can go with a 0 management fee and a 10% performance fee with no closing fees, or if you can go with something that's just performance only, then I think that's always going to be most appreciated by the investors. The more transparent and less blind pool you can structure a fund, also the better. Also, the second thing besides structure in terms of fees and blind pool versus not was the minimum investment size. If you can do 10,000, 25,000, 50,000, all else equal, that's going to be better than $500,000 or $1 million if you're going after high net worth and small family offices and super angel investors. And then making sure that the size of your actual fund that you're raising is not too high. Instead of 100 million, maybe go for 12 million or 4 million on your first fund or 2 to get some momentum, get oversubscribed, and build out that social proof, confidence, and track record of being able to complete your raises time and time again. Finally, the last thing I'll mention related to making sure you get the capital raising goal going is just have a mindset that now is not the time to be doing anything that's standard. You need to be different in 3 or 4 different ways. You need to play off of multiple sub-trends, multiple things that makes your investment topical, on trend, and part of a rising tide. and doing anything that is going to cause friction in the sales process or cause somebody to pause is going to stop you potentially from being able to raise the capital. So just line up everything to be smooth going for the investor conversation, and it'll show that it's well thought through, you respect the investors, and they're really looking at this as a long-term game and not a short-term, profit-taking exercise. This is Richard Wilson. I hope you found this useful. Please check out the Family Office Club, familyoffices.com, and capitalraising.com as you have time, and I'll see you on the next video.